Usually not a good thing when the RCMP turns up on your doorstep with a search warrant. Well, that is what happened today to the Conservatives. The RCMP and Elections Canada officials came looking for documents at Conservative Party headquarters in Ottawa. Susan Bonner joins me live with the latest information from that story. And what exactly were the RCMP doing at the Conservative Party headquarters, Susan?
Well, Suhana, no one wants to say very much about this, but here's what we do know. The RCMP were there at the request of the Elections Commissioner. The Elections Commissioner is the official who is in charge of enforcing and maintaining the Canada Elections Act, and he asked the RCMP to help him. The RCMP and Elections Canada officials went to Conservative Party headquarters and left with some documents. Now, we've had that confirmed by the RCMP and Elections Canada, but they won't say specifically what they are looking for. But we do know some things. We know that Elections Canada is involved in a legal battle with the Conservative Party over alleged election irregularities dating to the last election, 2006. It's been labeled here the in and out scheme by the Liberals, and what it is essentially is that the Conservatives, facing election caps on election spending, transferred more than $1 million from national office to local ridings for advertising, and then the money goes back to the national office, and the national office can claim a bit of a rebate on that. But what's important for people to know is that the Conservatives believe they were following the rules, that they took this national money and they created national ads, but they put local taglines on in the various 67 or up to 70 ridings in which these ads ran. And so they believe they were following Elections Canada spending rules. Well, the Elections Commissioner does not agree, and he is involved in a battle with the Conservatives over this. There's a court case involved as well. But essentially, that is likely what this document collecting exercise was all about today. So stay tuned. We're probably going to hear more about this in the House of Commons, because you can imagine that there were some pretty happy members of the opposition hearing about this today.
And while we wait for more details, Susan, you know better than anyone that perception is so powerful in politics. How do you think this will be perceived by the public, by the other parties?
Well, some Liberal Party researchers were there with cameras trying to capture some of this, and we're told they were a little bit gleeful about the whole thing. Remember that the Liberals have tried to make this a national issue. They have called it the in and out scheme. They have called it fraud, this scheme. And they have really been pushing this in the House of Commons. We're expecting more of that today from all opposition parties. And the Conservatives will push back, because the Conservatives have said all along, look, there may have been a loophole in the election laws, but we were following the laws. We have done nothing wrong. And so that's where it stood until today's RCMP and election officials showing up at Conservative Party headquarters. Quite an image for a party that has always presented itself as clean and uncorrupt, unlike how it referred to the former Liberal government.
Well, we'll be watching question period closely. Susan, thanks for the update.